Yes, sesiphinde sabuya ke ekhefini ke at Madiba's Radio. This is the late night show with Lulu. Angihlelanga ndodwa ke ngihlele noSindile Ndlovu. Sindile, usekhona?
Ndiselapha. Still here.
Okay, like I said, the topic for tonight we're asking about what is the cause for the mounting violence in schools between teachers and abafundi. So just general your opinion. So what do you think is the primary cause for this?
Primary.
Yeah.
Okay, there's quite a few causes, but primary, I'd say it starts at home. I'd say the way we function as families and the discipline our parents give us. That has a very huge impact on how a child will behave out there. It has a serious impact on the child's psychology. So everything you see, 90 or 80% of it is a reflection of what happens at home or what they're taught at home and how they're taught what they're taught. And these days, I would say, okay, actually not just these days, it's always been a thing. Parents neglect their responsibility, especially in the Black community, unfortunately.
Okay, so basically, if let's say let's say we come from not really a warm family, like in terms of there's always happiness, but it's a bit chaotic. So like you're saying, there's a higher chance they're gonna behave violently.
There's a very high chance because some kids, if you pay attention, most of bullies in school, they are bullied by their parents. Most of violent kids is because their parents at home are violent. It's either bashayana umntwana when they're angry or bayashayana abazali. There's always that idea that the only way to solve things is through violence. If you don't get my way, then I have to be violent towards you.
Yeah. Okay, I get your point. But what about like those kids born because sometimes a kid can come from like a rich family, rich, they're religious, they praise God so much, But still, a child, it turns out to be a person that his parents or her parents don't even recognize because of how they actually behave.
Yeah. Well, with that, we need to remember there's factors such as peer pressure, social trends.
Yes.
Now, for instance, these days it has become such a trend that when we see a video of a school kid beating a high school teacher, it trends so well that because of that pressure, other kids feel like, for me to be cool, I gotta do this. It's a sad thing, but then it happens. Unlike back in the day, we're not saying it didn't happen, but it wasn't trending.
Okay, back in the day. Okay. Yeah, of course, so much has changed, because even back in the days, for example, living in the high school, primary school, even there were a few people, who would bully me, in certain type of ways, but God, I just bottle it up. Okay.
Yeah.
So now what I want to know, man, what is the, in this whole situation then, the teachers now?
Yeah.
So what role do they play in actually fueling this thing, or do they play a role at all?
Yeah. I'd say they do.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say I'm justifying the actions of school kids or whatnot, but they play a role in that their measures towards it in responding to the violence is not even helping. They respond most likely in a violent manner too, which you'd say in most cases they're justified because at the end of the day these kids almost kill them. Some teachers have been killed, by school kids. So not to say I'm justifying it, but they actually respond in a violent manner, which is not helping the situation. It's just making it worse. Because recently, remember the case where this high school girl was back chatting with the teacher, pushed her back, and then, all of that. So then the teacher had to respond in the same manner. So it's really not helping anyone. And parents, the big role players, what did she do? She didn't say, my child, you were wrong in pushing that teacher and whatnot. She opened the case, took the child out of school.
Yeah, but then I look can they provide reasons? But okay, look, you can't do that to my child because, for example, personally, if for example as a teacher you slapped me, you say at that point, I'm not a learner, not a teacher. We're just two people now. There's no learner or teacher now. There's no learner or teacher, but then let's deal with each other now. So what I want to ask me because back in the time, because I finished my high school, years back, 2013 to be exact. So for example, in high school, just that, like corporal punishment, like for like 4 lectures. Go pipe because you forgot to sweep the class. Imagine, better 4 lectures on time because of a mere homework.
Yeah.
And at the time, not that thing was right, but we kept quiet.
Yeah.
So now, this generation now, like mostly the millennials, are they not responding to what Tina we decided not to respond to? We're too fearful to
respond to.
Yes.
I think that's a good point you're making. We kept quiet and it looked like it was working. But in actual fact, we kept quiet. Not that it was working, because you'd find that umntana obethwa, I don't know how many times a week, one. That shows it's not actually working. The kid is just quiet. So I would say, perhaps millennials, like you said, they're just responding to what's already there. The violence that's there already. Because teachers are violent towards us. Imagine umntana because kanga clean in the classroom, 4 lectures, and that's so hectic. So now they're not keeping quiet, they're responding to the violence that's already in existence, and unfortunately they're responding in a very bad manner.
Exactly, because you are like in my high school, just better like for real.
Yeah.
But of course there can be different sides with it to say, because some say, okay, in fact, I don't want that to actually did good for me.
Yeah.
For example, to me, fine, at the time I hated it. I hated it. But then when I look back, I think, okay, actually, I'm sort of shaped in a particular way.
Yeah.
But also like how times have changed now.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't just beat me, no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so corporal punishment.
Yeah.
Are you for or against corporal punishment? What do you think about it? The other corporal punishment in general.
In general,
yes.
Not just in schools. In general.
In general, no, in schools.
In schools,
yes. Corporal punishment, yes.
Okay, I'm not for corporal punishment.
Yes.
I believe there's a way of dealing with this. As a society, it starts at home, as I mentioned earlier, because that's where it also starts as well. And there's a way you can reason with the child. Of course, sometimes they're just hot-headed and all of that, but I don't believe in corporal punishment because I've seen its worst sides. Like you said, back in the day, I was also in high school. It would get so bad that sometimes some kids are scared of certain teachers. They would rather bunk class because whenever that teacher gets angry, they take it out on the kids.
Well, yeah.
You understand? So that is also bad, and it teaches violence at the same time. It teaches the norm about, if you're not agreeing with me, I have to beat you. If you're not doing what I say, I have to beat you.
Yeah.
You understand? So I'm not for corporal punishment. It's not helping.
At all.
I wouldn't say at all, but it's not helping. Okay, in my case, growing up, my dad used to beat me up. And yeah, I was wrong. I would be very wrong. He would beat me up for coming back late, beat me up for anything I do, bringing my friends in via the window, those kind of things.
Why were you coming back late?
I don't, as a kid, you just want to play. You just want to play.
Yes.
So, but like you said, we share the same experience. Looking back, it kind of shaped me because it instilled that fear. And to some extent, having that fear and living with that fear of, andifunu better, let me rather do things right. Yes. It kind of helped you take a certain route or direction in life,
Yes. Okay, no, I get. Okay, this is the topic for tonight as to what is the cause for the violence in schools between teachers and learners. We're gonna take a quick song and then spin this. Yes, this is the late night show with Ululu and Jilwan Survivor. Survivor of years. Okay, our topic for tonight was about what do you think is the cause for the mounting violence in schools between teachers and learners. Okay, before we even talk further and
yeah. Boya Benyat.
Oh, Kachin.
Yes.
Okay. Look, I want to read a few comments from Facebook. So Utolisa Zulu Nofisa Ngejane Uti, and I quote. Okay, I personally believe it starts with the upbringing of the individual. Okay, how they were raised, teachings, and how to behave around people. Number 2, respect plays a very important role. I believe it is normal and expected by the society that when you are young, you must respect your elders. This also includes your teachers. Number 3, lack of professionalism by some educators also has an impact on this. So it all goes back to basics, self-respect, and discipline. Shout out X.
Yeah, well, I actually agree with what you're saying. when it comes to instilling the values of respect
Yes.
in their upbringing. I'll share a quick story. The
Yes.
way my mom raised us, ne? Like I said, my dad used to beat us up.
Mhm.
My mom never laid her hand on me,
Oh.
really. And now I always ask myself, so this woman doesn't beat us, she just talks to us.
Yeah.
But then if you look at it, her method actually works because she teaches you simple things like respect your elders. You know, very basic things. Respect yourself. Understand when you're in a space where you have to respect other people. It starts there. Respect ordinary people, even people you think you are higher than socially or economically in any way. That's where it starts. So whenever you do something she doesn't like or break a rule or something, she shouts at you, then comes and then she comes back to you and she's like, I didn't mean to shout. That's how my mom is. Then you're like, hey, I thought you come back for more. Then she's like, I didn't mean to shout, but this is what I don't agree with. This is what I'm trying to show you. In your view, do you think that's right? When I'm your parent and I tell you this and you still break it, then you actually go back in your little corner and it speaks to your conscience like, Ish, mom.
Where were you born, bro?
Bruh, my mother, I'm
Why you
telling
born
you, she
like-
never raised her hand on us.
Why you
I
born-
tell you. The only person who did is my dad, because my dad is like, no, I'm just London. You're not gonna discuss that.
No, like you're the lucky one. Like honestly,
I'm telling you.
honestly, you are the lucky one because both my mom and dad. Yo, mama like yo, my mother for example, you are white focus was like too much, and she would make it worse sometimes. But I must go pick up. So I'm like, don't come over. I'm like, I have to bring it. And even my dad sometimes use a belt and all of those things.
Yeah.
But for example, the nice thing about that is that, okay, fine, yeah, better at that particular stage, but then, like 20 minutes into it, everyone is cool now. Like, we've forgotten all about that, okay. Ulindo kuhle mfetane, shout out Lindo. Learners believe that respect is a two-way street. So if you don't respect me, I won't respect you. And when a teacher disciplines, well, sometimes disrespects a learner, the learner returns the favor and disrespect the teacher back. That is when the violence starts.
Yeah, as I said earlier, it's actually a retaliation of, I don't know, what's existing already. You know, it's a reaction basically.
It's a reaction.
Like you said earlier about they would slap us, beat us, do all those things, but we were in fear, so we'd keep quiet. We had so much fear.
Yeah, definitely, you know, but you see, one other thing that I've noticed, you know, from where I come from is that, you know, even before the violence happens, for example, there was a time when I was doing my observations in high school. So they did a random search. No, let's just search bags, you know, for everyone, like from grade 8 to grade 12.
Yeah.
Like this table, you see the table that you're looking at right now, man? It was filled with weed, with knives, with cigarettes.
Whoa, that's bad.
Exactly. Like, well, and then the question would be like, so why see I need to bring a knife in the first place at school?
Exactly. I would say we shouldn't forget that there's lots of contributing factors to this whole thing. There's also things like gangsterism. It's part of it. And bullying, you know. Those things influence a lot. So, as a bully, for instance, in school, and you are known to have a knife, and you're part of a gang, if a teacher tries to discipline you, you feel the need to flex your muscles. That's true.
Yes.
You feel the need to show, but actually no one can tell me anything. You know? So, and I don't know, gangsterism plays such a huge role because it's so entrenched in our communities. It's like a second home to most kids.
Exactly, you know, and you know how things have changed, you know, like over the years, you know, like for example, like when I was young, you know, you see things like weed, things like alcohol, weapons, you know, like those are things I was scared of even looking at them. I was like, no, that thing is dangerous. That thing can kill me. I was even scared, like, to hold a knife. But okay, I can't even hold these things. But then now you find out about it's easier for young ones to consume these things at a very young age.
Yeah.
Like grade 8,
Yeah.
13 years, let's say, so like.
Yeah. And it's so sad because I grew up in a township in Gauteng, and whenever I go home, there's those people that I consider as my younger sisters, younger brothers, you know, because they are my younger sister's age, and now they are in high school. And you find that person by a corner, it's a step, Kauti Turan. And I'm thinking, what? Turan for what? At that age, why are you even smoking? You know? And I realized that there's things like peer pressure that play a role. Like growing up, I was also scared of weed. I was also scared of alcohol. I'm still scared of weed.
Okay, okay, if you say so.
Yeah, I don't know, even like those drugs and all those other things. So peer pressure plays such a huge role. Especially like I said, gangsterism, it's more like a second home.
Yeah.
Now they want to be part of a gang, they want to belong, and for you to fit in, you gotta do what's done there. If you were scared, you'd either be bullied, you'd be isolated, and all those things. And now, in this age of social media and everything, everyone wants to belong somewhere. That's why people even post things for likes. Everyone wants to belong.
Okay, Uwanga Shakes Ramaphosa. Yanaka president, you know, the first son. I think we can partially blame the parents for this crisis. They've reached a point where they think respect is inherent in nature. Okay. Today's generation no longer have that interaction with their parents, like being taught from a very young age how to behave in the society. So kids just take what they see or experience, which then promote peer pressure, because you were never taught how to react in such cases. Also, dysfunctional families create monsters. I like that point.
Yeah.
Even the exposure that today's generation have to social trends and social media in general, and also substance abuse, weed. There are cases that we witness online on these videos that this cannot be done by a sane learner. So I think substances are also a contributing factor in this crisis. Okay. Many points as a razor, first son, or Ramaphosa, but I want to touch on one, the one that struck me is about the teachings, like with the parents, the conversations. You know, like for example, me, I never had much conversations, about like with parents. Okay, this is how you behave. This is like it's more like I always had to watch, how it's done. Like from my parents. Okay, this is how they carry themselves. This is how things are done.
Yeah.
Like because I can say the family was just so warm. Like it was easy to learn. And for example, nowadays it's not much easier, for this generation, because some of them, they are raised in like I don't mean to disrespect like dysfunctional families.
Yeah, there are dysfunctional families. It's a reality. I know I was reading an article.
Yeah.
This whole thing, it's termed about it's behavioral learning, where you watch, that's how you learn. And
Yes.
most of us, especially in early childhood, that's basically, it consumes sort of 80% of your learning. That's what you learn.
Yes,
80%.
exactly.
That's how you learn. So with dysfunctional families, they are a reality. Especially you find that in South Africa, most households, the father is either a runaway or he's absent. Right. Now, what that does, he's actually abusive, physically abusive or emotionally. So now what that does to children, when they look at it, it seems okay to do that because they were born into this situation, so that's what they know, that's what they see. So growing up, when they go into schools, for instance, the violence in schools, I've seen a video, there was this boy beating a girl. It didn't sit well with me. He was actually punching her. She was on the floor. It was so bad. And I was wondering, what tells him that it's okay to beat someone up like that? What tells him it's okay to beat someone that is physically not as strong as you, What if the parents at home actually beat each other up? What if the neighbors, it's in the community, it's a thing, it's normal. That's why we need to acknowledge. I wanted to comment on a post I saw on Facebook. Someone commented about, why do we have so many manpinjas out there? And I wanted to say they're a sad product of our society.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So shout out Lonwabo. Students, I believe, mostly students are unruly because of the banning of corporal punishment, and somewhat due to ill discipline. Sometimes it's a question of morality and manners taught at home. Social issues can play a role in this too. I just thought of something, because for example, when we were growing up, as guys, as like guys, for example, after school, there were times whereby we call it ukugela, like we just make a circle and then you are gonna fight with this one. Like there's no conflict, like nothing. It's just a matter of to see who's the
That's bad.
who's the strongest. But even though like we did not turn out to be like violent, like unlike today, because today what's happening is that those things don't really much happen. But what happens instead now is the use of weapons. For example, now, you know a 13-year-old can look at you right now, and they're only threatening to kill you, and they can do it if they want to do so.
There's actually a 15-year-old in El Dorado. He was arrested for pointing a gun at his teacher. 15-year-old. At that time, I didn't even know how to hold a knife.
A gun.
To cut it from him. Literally.
Wow. Okay, I think it's poor discipline from home that leads learners to disrespect their teachers to the extent of violating them, and also trying to look cool with their peers. That's another point. For having the guts of talking back to their teacher. Also, with the black community, we have our parents defending us when we rebel at school. If umntana ubethetha umzali ufika sethukeza, that happens a lot. Being a teacher, we are not inhumane, we have emotions too. However, as the elder in the situation, one should deal with being disrespected better. Then at the solution, number one, teachers need emotional intelligence workshops. Parents need to do their job. Teachers are there to teach, not to raise their kids.
Ouch, that's a painful truth. I actually agree. That's a painful and very, sad truth. That's exactly what happens. I was assessing the situation of that girl that pushed the desk. It was back chatting.
To the teacher.
Yeah. And then the parents got there and was shouting, "You can't do that to my kid." But then, as a parent, do you even know your kid can behave this way? Do you even take the time to assess their behavior? Or maybe you just keep them in fear at home and you don't actually see who they are? Do you have talks with your kid? Do you teach them people skills, Do you handle yourself well at home that they know how people are supposed to behave?
Yeah, to some extent, yeah, I'm scared, man. I'm a future teacher, by the way, so I just think about, these kids, Jesus, because I'm so outspoken, I speak a lot, and so imagine, I'm having a kid back chatting me, what do I do in that situation,
Exactly. Or a gun pointed at you. What do you do? And I'm a future lawyer. I don't want to find myself in a situation where I'm representing a 15-year-old with a gun, because I feel like I should be disciplining you with a gun. Why are you with a gun in the first place? But here I am having to defend you or your teacher.
Exactly. So society has changed, for the worst, if I can say. Forgive me for that language. But we're gonna take a quick song and then we're gonna. Yes, there was Black Motion. Let's see to Moya Wataola. So now it's 10 to 11. So now you're sitting a topic in Amhlanje. What is the cause for the mounting violence in schools between teachers and learners? Engage about Facebook. Oh yeah, there's a new comment. Fix Zealous, okay. Hopefully Fix Zealous Vita Angel. Wow, that's an interesting name. Our problem, it might be caused by the teacher bringing his or her personal matters to school and now expresses it to the learners, or the learners that expresses her pressure on the teacher, in brackets, anger issues or family problems. Okay. I hope I pronounced that name right, but yeah, that's a pretty good point. Okay, fine. Survivor.
That's my sister.
Oh wow.
That's my younger sister. She's in high school, so I think this topic is so relevant to her. And in her view, because she's in high school right now, she's doing her grade 10. So in her view, she believes teachers are bringing their own personal problems to school, or the learners are bringing their own anger issues to school, which is actually a relevant point,
Okay, Fix Zealous,
Her full name is Fikile.
Fikile, okay. No, thank you so much, Fikile. Hopefully that you will tune in all the time. But wow, when we have people engaging from afar, that's commendable. Okay, so let's try to sum this up. Okay, fine. Practical solutions now, man. Fine. There's this violence, but now, practically speaking, what should be done?
What should be done? As a society, primarily parents, we should play an active role. And I think it starts with parents reviewing their disciplinary methods, even teachers themselves, because violence has always been a way of disciplining, just that as kids or children we're not retaliating. It's only a problem now because they're retaliating. So as parents, visit disciplinary measures, and when your child is wrong, do not rush to defend your child.
Exactly.
They're a child, they're bound to be wrong in certain things. Don't say your child is an angel. Don't do that. So I would say parents, check how you talk to your kids. Address certain issues. Most black parents, unfortunately, are not so open and they don't want to address certain issues. You know, I'll give an example. If maybe your dad sees you working with a boy, instead of him saying, no, Mdanam, it's too early for that, he's going to be like, Etam, where were you? That's what my dad used to do, you know. They should be more open and talk about those things, and talk about drugs, talk about gangsters, you know, talk about all the social issues, talk about peer pressure, you know, talk about being bullied, how you handle it, and all of that, and how you're supposed to relate to other people, and be very, very, very careful of how you handle each other at home, because that's actually what teaches us how people are supposed to handle each other.
There was a point. Okay, let's go. Truth or dare?
Okay, I think I want a dare right now.
A dare, man.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start it. Okay, please send a shout out to your person on air and call them by their name. Shout out to their person on air. So, wow, lucky person. Number 2, truth or dare?
Yeah, you know your days, and okay, I'm settling for days. I'm so scared of truth.
What are you scared of? Like, I'm on truth. You're not an honest person. Okay, fine. Damn, yeah.
Okay, truth.
Truth, okay. What was your most embarrassing moment of your life?
Most embarrassing moment.
The embarrassing moment.
Am I supposed to disclose that? Because it's still embarrassing.
Okay, now I want to know. Yeah, come on.
Well, okay, I was very young. Very, very young. Yeah, I need to emphasize that I was young.
Okay.
Oh, no, man. We're playing a game at school.
Yes.
And I don't know what was going on. And you know when you hold your pee and you're like, I'll go pee. Damn, it came out right there and I couldn't say anything to justify myself.
During the people.
Literally. And we're like, but Cindy. And you know the funny thing, the game we're playing, we're dissing each other.
Yes.
So now, what am I going to say after that? They're going to diss me, all of them.
Wow.
You know. And I don't know, it carried on for like 3 more years. Whenever they see me, like, yeah, when I don't forget you pee yourself.
So we always that pencil mode here.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. The last one, truth or dare?
Ulolo and his days. I think I want to take a day.
A dare, man. No, let me give you a truth.
Okay.
Let me give you a truth.
Okay.
For those who are listening. And exactly, for those who are listening, man. What's the best way to slide in a DM?
My DM or just in general?
Your DM. What's the best way to slide in that DM, Cindy?
Oh, well, I love food. How about can we go for lunch? I love food. I love food. You know, there was a post I saw and they're like, stop saying Uzonbona Nini. We'll keep saying when I'm free, and we'll never be free. Just say, let's go for lunch, and trust me, 80% of us are gonna jump.
So like if I'm there, like okay, I'm like okay, let me check. And you message, I click, I was just saying, must talk about food, you know.
Yeah, or just be like, where are you now? Your address? I'm like, nah, I'm in my room. Okay, just wait 15 minutes. Next thing, there's a delivery. Trust me, you won't have to come back. I'm coming back for you.
Hopefully all of you heard about okay. If you had hopes or ambitions, to slide in that DM, just talk about food, okay? Like, okay, no, I have creme decker. Creme decker Debonnaise. Chicken and mushroom, something meaty. So that's the best way to slide in her DM. So see, okay, our chat for tonight. Thank you so much for your interactions on Facebook and on Twitter. Thank you so much. So now.